Welcome to my YouTube channel. Most beautiful beaches in Oregon. Oregon is one of the best kept secrets in the United States when it comes to beaches. That might come as a surprise, given Oregon's notoriously cloudy, rainy weather and high latitude. But its 363 miles of rugged shoreline is not only dotted by sandy beaches, cinematic headlands, dramatic driftwood gyres, and prime surfing waves, it's protected from development as the People's Coast. Since the Beach Bill was passed in 1913, Oregon's beaches, coves, and coastline have been reserved as public lands for the enjoyment of Oregonians. From the northern beach towns of Astoria and Cannon Beach, with their proximity to Washington and Portland, to the Central Coast dotted with lighthouses and dramatic dunes, to the warm banana belt of southern Oregon that's sunnier and milder than its siblings, there's a little something for everyone on the People's Coast. If you're having trouble deciding which beach is right for you, don't worry. This video is helpful for you. Just 6 miles from the California border, Brookings is a balmy commercial town on the bay of the Chetco River. Winter temperatures hover around 60 degrees Fahrenheit 15 degrees Celsius, making Brookings the state's banana belt and a mecca for retirees. 4 miles north of Brookings, US 101 winds over 11 miles of headlands through Samuel H. Boardman State Park, which contains some of Oregon's most beautiful coastline. Along the highway are a number of roadside turnouts and picnic areas with short trails leading to secluded beaches and dramatic viewpoints. Marching far out to sea are tiny island chains, home to shorebirds and braying sea lions. One of the more laid-back beach resorts on Oregon's coast is the hamlet of Manzanita, boasting lovely white sand beaches and a slightly upscale clientele. It's much smaller and far less hyped than Cannon Beach, and still retains a peaceful atmosphere, although there's a lot more going on here these days than even a few years ago. Still, it's easy to find peace and quiet, relax on the beach, and take part in some mellow activities. To stretch your legs a bit, hike up nearby Nikini Mountain, from where you get a spectacular view over the coast. Oswald West State Park shouldn't be missed, either. This beautiful preserve just north of Manzanita is comprised of dense coastal rainforest and 2 headlands. For a good hike, take the 2.4-mile trail to Cape Falcon, which offers expansive views and good birdwatching. Surfers and bodyboarders can head a quarter-mile from the highway parking lot to Short Sand Beach, which offers good waves. There are kayaking opportunities just 4 miles south in Wheeler. Stretching for nearly 50 miles between Florence and Coos Bay, the Oregon Dunes form the largest expanse of oceanfront sand dunes in the USA. The dunes tower up to 500 feet and undulate inland as far as 3 miles to meet coastal forests, harboring curious ecosystems that sustain an abundance of wildlife, especially birds. The area inspired Frank Herbert to pen his epic sci-fi dune novels. The very northern and southern sections of the dunes are dominated by dune buggies and dirt bikes, off-highway vehicles, or OHVs. Avoid hiking in these areas. The central section of the dunes is close to OHVs and preserved for wildlife and more peaceful human activities such as hiking and canoeing. Thanks for watching. Find your way to Florence's Old Town neighborhood to see the town's most charming side, a quaint waterfront district nestled along the scenic Siuslaw River next to the Oregon coast's prettiest harbor. At the mouth of the Rogue River, Gold Beach got its start when the precious ore was discovered here in 1853. The mines didn't strike it rich compared to other places, but the town remained. Then in the early 20th century, salmon-rich waters caught the fancy of gentlemen anglers such as Jack London and Zane Grey. The coast around Gold Beach is spectacular. Take a break at Cape Sebastian State Park, a rocky headland 7 miles south, for a panorama stretching from California to Cape Blanco. Flex your legs on a 1.5-mile walking trail to the Cape. From December to April, keep your eyes peeled for whales. Gold Beach's other big attraction is jet boat excursions up the Rogue River, one of Oregon's wildest and most remote. Wildlife viewing is good, with deer, elk, otters, beavers, eagles and osprey. At the mouth of the Rogue River, Gold Beach got its start when the precious ore was discovered here in 1853. The mines didn't strike it rich compared to other places, but the town remained. Then in the early 20th century, salmon-rich waters caught the fancy of gentlemen anglers such as Jack London and Zane Grey. The coast around Gold Beach is spectacular. Take a break at Cape Sebastian State Park, a rocky headland 7 miles south, for a panorama stretching from California to Cape Blanco. Flex your legs on a 1.5-mile walking trail to the Cape. From December to April, keep your eyes peeled for whales. Gold Beach's other big attraction is jet boat excursions up the Rogue River, one of Oregon's wildest and most remote. Wildlife viewing is good, with deer, elk, otters, beavers, eagles and osprey. One of the Oregon coast's best-kept secrets is the neat and friendly little town of Yachats, Yachats. Lying at the base of massive Cape Perpetua, Yachats offers the memorable scenery of a rugged and windswept land. People come here to get away from it all, which isn't hard to do along this relatively undeveloped stretch of coast. Not only is the beach close to town an ideal stretch of sand and sea stacks, but Cape Perpetua also gives you even more room to roam and take in the coast. Located 3 miles south of Yachats, this volcanic remnant was sighted and named by England's Captain James Cook in 1778. Famous for dramatic rock formations and crashing surf, the area contains numerous trails that explore ancient shell middens, tide pools and old-growth forests. Views from the Cape are incredible, taking in coastal promontories from Cape Foulweather to Cape Arago. Warm up after exploring with a bite and a beer at the Yachats Brewing and Farm Store. Oregon's largest resort town is popular, gaudy and unpretentious Seaside, which attracts families and young folks looking for a fun and affordable beach getaway. On summer weekends and during holidays or festivals, the town's central precinct, dominated by ice cream shops, video game arcades and gift stores, is thronged with tourists and takes on a carnival-like atmosphere. Bicycles and surreys have the run of Seaside's 2-mile boardwalk, called the Prom, but at least most of the miles of sandy beach are relatively peaceful. Join the pedaling hordes on the promenade by renting bikes and 4-wheel surreys at Prom Bike and Hobby Shop. For advice on where to hit the waves, there's Cleanline Surf Company. During spring break, expect a wilder party atmosphere. Charming Cannon Beach is one of the most popular beach towns on the Oregon coast, thanks in large part to its iconic symbol, Haystack Rock. This beautiful hulking monolith rises 235 feet and has had cameos in several movies. It's part of the Oregon Islands National Wildlife Refuge and home to a variety of seabirds, including the charmingly cute tufted puffin. During low tide, you can walk out to the rock and investigate tide pools, though you should never remove anything from them, and see caves. In summer, volunteers are on hand to help protect the area and provide information. When the waves are up, rent a board and wetsuit from the Cleanline Surf Shop, a friendly local spot that rents out boards and wetsuits and can give advice on good places to surf. Or you can take part in Cannon Beach's largest festival, Sandcastle Day, typically held in June. Dates depend on tides, which has teams competing for originality and execution in sand sculpture. I hope you enjoy this video.